Welcome back to the WGL EU, and we are into the final game of the evening, and it's going to be a phenomenal one. Almost blowing the other two out of the water, or at least it should do on paper. Those two went to the final map, they were close as hell, but this is the first place against third, TRN.ROX against Team Supreme.
Yeah, and you know, I think TRN.ROX have been so good this season so far. They had a bit of a shaky start with a lot of 5-4s and 4-5s, you know, going the way of Virtus Pro, but they came back into it and they look like a team that really can challenge for a top 2 spot, maybe even first place, to be honest. They've been really impressed with them. And Team Supreme, I mean, what can I say? It says it in their name. They're absolute beasts this season, haven't lost literally a single match, and really not that many rounds either.
Yeah, and this is the first big test for both of these in my eyes. This is, you know, when we see the best really have to bring everything they have to prove what they can really do here. We've seen the Virtus Pro can be taken to a third map by a team down in second to last place. So God only knows what we're going to get in this one. And Melly, the people at home, there's 2 fan favorites here. Of course they'll want to get involved. How can they do so?
By easily heading over to facebook.com/WGLEU and getting involved in our team vote. First you have to choose your favorite team and then predict the exact scoreline for this matchup. And currently Supreme is heavily favored with 67%, which is pretty clear for a matchup of this kind, which you always is around the 50% marker, 48, 52, something like that. So Supreme currently sitting pretty on top of this vote, but the vote will run throughout the first map, close until we head into the second map, so enough time, still plenty of time left to get involved. And if you, well, don't use Facebook, don't want to use the Team Vote app, just hand in your predictions via Twitter by using the hashtag WGLEU. And yes, as you guys see, I already, restocked
Melly,
my
you gotta clean that up, you know.
No, I'm gonna eat it all, don't worry.
I'll nip over there during the game as
well.
well.
We'll take care of it.
Melly's side of the desk is just diabolical.
Oh, wait.
It's paper. It's fine. Yours is like
wait.
water
It's popcorn
bottles,
currently.
popcorn,
Yeah.
kernels,
Popcorn.
Snickers.
Hey,
Still popcorn.
she's allowed to be hyped for this game. It's the game of the season so far. Let's be
Exactly. And I mean, we already saw 2 amazing games, and
Nice
the third
mise en
one is
scène.
hopefully.
Yeah, it's going to be amazing. So anyway, let's have a little listen to what the team captains had to say from Supreme.
TRN.ROX is a new team, and it could be seen they still lack some consistency. But they have a very experienced captain and skillful players, and I think they got everything to become one of the strongest teams in the world. It's gonna be a tough opponent for us, and it's gonna be an interesting match. Enjoy the show!
Ron being the showman as ever. Clearly feeling confident though, but respecting the fact that TRN.ROX do have a lot of talent there.
Yeah, there's a lot of respect from Ron towards Shifa, of course, the team captain for TRN.ROX. But he does nail it on the head. It's a very experienced team, and they're going to take it very seriously.
They certainly will, and of course with one's opinion we need the other. And we heard Ron saying that, you know, they feel confident, they've got a good team, but they do respect their opponent. Let's hear what TRN.ROX have to say.
Supreme очень сильная команда, которой удалось собрать очень сильный состав перед сезоном. Они являются основным фаворитом, но мы надеемся победить в этой игре.
He doesn't speak in English, by the way, just to say. Probably put subtitles on that one.
Yeah, a little later down the line, we might translate that. He might have said, I hate Ron, he's an idiot. GG.
Maybe.
But anyway, let's keep it back on track. Your thoughts on this one? We know the map's coming up. I believe Steps is going to be first.
Yeah, Steps is going to come up first. Then we got Himmelsdorf after that. Steps was Supreme's choice, and Himmelsdorf was TRN.ROX. I mean, on paper, should be Team Supremes. They've only really been tested by Ding this season, 5-3 scoreline. TRN.ROX have been through a lot more, and I think they have that advantage there. But I think Team Supreme should win it.
Should. That's the thing. There's a lot of shoulds, ifs, buts, and maybes today, apparently, because Virtus Pro, you know, forgot what limbs are. But outside of that as well, we saw Strong doing marvellously against their higher seeded number as well, picking up that victory there. So a lot's happened today, a lot of upsets. but I don't know how this one's going to turn out. This was my game of the evening, and maybe I've been proved wrong by every single other team. So, your final prediction. Give me a scoreline here.
Team Supreme 5-3.
5-3. Okay. 5-2. Team Supreme.
Really? Okay.
Yeah, I'm saying that they've got it. They've got this in the bag.
Right.
I'm having faith in Ron because I understood what he said. So, you know, a little bias there, but still, I think Supreme has the talent. They have the time together now. I think TRN.ROX has the talent, but not quite yet had the time to become a full synergized lineup. But still, I do believe it's time to look toward the game, and we are live into this one. And well, we are seeing the artillery out to play for Ron. And it will be Team Supreme on the attack and TRN.ROX on the defense.
Yeah, artillery on the attack is not that uncommon. You know, it just counts the fact that those heavy tanks are often picked on the defensive side. But no heavy tanks for TRN.ROX at the beginning. They're just going to be trying to boost the star player, the Annihilator, up and towards the hill. You know, you
Oh my god.
Oh, that was strange. I mean, obviously they know the... You can actually see, though, Ron can see the shots of negative. He could see that shell tracer coming out, and you can see, you know, where you would normally boost Team Supreme is blind shotting.
That's really smart, but thankfully for TRN.ROX, they've adjusted a little. They've moved to the side, maybe by, what, 5-6 centimeters almost, but it's enough that's made the difference.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, that's the kind of... prediction play. I mean, obviously, Team Supreme predicted that TRN.ROX would go for the boost. TRN.ROX predicted that Team Supreme would make the blind shots towards the boost. So they go like 10 foot to the left, and it works out nicely for them. But I think TRN.ROX has got the better lineup here. Now, a pretty good position because, you know, Team Supreme have that artillery, which is hard to hit with those lighter tanks. And yeah, Ron's a great player, but he's not known to be a great artillery player. He's more being that kind of T-37 powerhouse for his team so far this season. Now, it looks like Team Supreme playing towards that eastern side. That's indicative of their IS-3. You can't really rotate it very far, you know. You can't send it towards the left side. It just takes too long.
Well, let's see what they can bring here. As you mentioned, east side play coming out from Team Supreme. TRN.ROX not too far away, and I feel this is going to be such a beautiful game already. So many mind games going backward and forward between these two. Yeah,
I mean, just looking at, you know, how these guys have performed the season so far on this map. You know, Team Supreme played it 3 times, 66% win ratio. I mean, it's just not very many times played, to be honest. We can't really draw any conclusions from that. Team TRN.ROX pretty much the same, played it 5 times, 60% win ratio. So, you know, they've played it. It's worked out for them just about. For instance, against Penta, but still not really a lot to say.
No, a fairly neutral map between the two. No clear victor in favour here, but we are seeing the Eastern cap coming out. We are seeing that being started up. And what's the response here, do you think, coming from TRN.ROX? Or are they going to be very cautious about this one?
Well, normally you send T-54s down south, you have them rotate around, you know, set up a net situation where you can push from many angles, get the resets from many angles. But Team Supreme have already thought of that. They got 251 down south, ready to exchange. First bit of damage does go towards nuclear.
Yeah, taking a little bit, but I believe that he is playing the IS-3, so he can take a little bit of damage. He's got a nice little bit of HP to kind of fall back towards, but don't want to take too much at this point, considering he was in the cap. But look at Apoel getting absolutely shredded to begin with, has to retreat to cover, as it looks like TRN.ROX want to make an impact.
Yeah, nuclear getting really a lot of damage at the beginning. Might even fall in the IS-3 for not less.
He is down to a 1.5. Look at him, he's on 24 HP. It's a 1-for-1 exchange, though. Shanish finds positive, and the Armageddon finally takes down nuclear. So, back all and equal, but Apoel's damage is going to be such a huge factor in towards this. And bearing in mind, Ron's still in this. Supreme, going to have to be careful here.
And both teams have to be careful, but you can see the artillery coming in. Ron punishing negative, even with a low roll. That brings, you know, the favor back towards Team Supreme.
And Shanish is doing wonderfully as well. He's just been sitting back, nailing those shots in towards the side of TRN.ROX, who are backing out, but Shanish grabs negative and says, you're not getting away that easily. You're mine. And, well, we are seeing this game equal out. Further damage coming through. Vorsic takes a shot. Already, TRN.ROX to 4.5k to see Supreme's 5.5. But look at this move as well. Those T-54s are wanting to catch him out here, and they're going to do it. Griffin's going to find Capt. That is a horrible name, and that's what I'm going to call him. And well, Supreme with a firm advantage now.
Yeah, big advantage coming out for Supreme right now. They're doing good damage. They've got good positions here. They might just be able to find and punish the Armageddon.
Yeah, and let alone Vorsic as well. He's down super low. 218 HP. The Armageddon 430. And this is just Supreme being marvellous at this map.
Griffin will be able to find Vorsic, one of the best players for Team Supreme, really stepping up for his team these days. a bounce coming out onto the side of that tank as well. Now, you know, Tornado are sitting back. They still got the Annihilator and full HP. Zik as well, you know, a good player for Tornado. Still pretty healthy, but still Team Supreme with about 2,000 more hit points to play around with. Still got run in the game to, you know, bully Tornado.ROX out of those positions behind the rocks. So this is going very well for them.
They are really giving us a masterclass on the attacking side here with some brilliant variety. And the Armageddon and Zik going to be looking for further options. Might have to look for Ron. I don't think they're going to find him too easily, especially with that cap still running. They're running out of options here. Yeah,
running out of time as well. Cap on the way. The Armageddon will find Ron almost certainly. I think he's behind some trees or some bushes, so he's probably safe for now. The M44 doesn't have the greatest camo value in the world, but has enough. Ron does get spotted, and it will be Zik to try and respond onto him.
Yep, Ron does live through one volley of fire, and the second. Ron's still alive. He's a bit of a miracle worker at this rate, but Phoenix did take one as well. Ron does finally go down. That's Zik finding him, but the cap continues.
1 minute and 30 seconds left. You know, Team Supreme are winning this one, but they are on the attack. They have to make something work here. They can't get the Annihilator out of his cranny, so really the cap is the only choice. 15 seconds left.
Yeah, it's going down to the wire here. 13 seconds now, make it 12. This is ticking faster and faster. These guys are just about avoiding it. The Annihilator, excuse me, not able to find the shot. Zik's trying to make a quick play back towards it, but 4 seconds remaining. The Armageddon might be the only one who can make this shot. Zik's going to go for it as well. 1 second remains. The cap, I believe, has been completed at the very last second with Griffin taking down the Armageddon. Shanish finding Zik, and Team Supreme locking down the game.
Yeah, I think a really good game. I mean, you could see how close it is between these two teams. Yep. Tornado being super aggressive at the beginning, you know, taking down Nuclear in that IS-3 in record time. Not a single bounce on the IS-3. It just went down like this. But, you know, good choice by Ron and the artillery, good positioning by him. It definitely helped them out. Tornado had to make the sacrifice of trying to run away. It cost them dearly. Team Supreme won the exchanges there and managed to walk away with a good advantage.
Let's look at the start again of this one, see how this all began to unfold with the play coming out from Team Supreme and the response for it. Now, this was the boost coming out, and this was the lovely kind of mind games.
Yeah, you know, once you have a T54 up there, you get a good positional advantage, because you could see that even if Team Supreme managed to win all the exchanges, which they did, you've always got a tank that is sitting up there safe. You know, you can't get rid of it unless you have artillery, which obviously they did, but Ron got taken down at a later stage. So it really just give you a lot of options. Yep. But at the same time, you know, Tornado didn't have a tank in the game which they maybe needed, and Team Supreme skill just, you know, reigned supreme, and they managed to pick up this round. But again, it's steps. It tells us that the attacking side is slightly more advantageous. We saw in the last round as well, where, you know, Virtus.Pro managed to beat ASAP on the tiebreak on steps as well on the attack.
Don't give me flashbacks here. But yes, this one is still very much up in the air, and I think we are going to see a very high caliber of play coming out from these two, already wonderfully keeping each other in mind specifically into this matchup, and hopefully the teams will be preparing themselves nice and quickly for the round 2, and we aren't left waiting too long, because I know you guys at home are dying for this to get underway. And looking at it so far, who did the most damage here?
Shanish 2.1k, and not surprising, and for the Annihilator 1.5k. I mean, to be fair, Tornado didn't really do that much damage that round. I mean, 1k, 1.4, 900, 500, 200, 250, and Copilla did really nothing. Ron only hit 1 shell, but that was a shell against, I believe, negative, which really gave Shanish the ability to take him down. It's really that point which we saw Team Supreme had a huge lead.
Yeah, and this is just exciting me. I want to see what the next rounds go like. And is this going the way you expected? Is this the sort of play that kind of lends to the scoreline that you thought was going to happen?
I think the first map is going to be a 2-2. I think it's the second map we'll see, you know, a little bit of changes. But, you know, Team Supreme, they're winning where they should win, and Tornado.ROX are losing where they should lose. So yeah. I don't know. Yeah,
it's kind of playing out how we almost predicted there. So looking forward to seeing how the rest of this game goes.
Yeah, so we got Himmelsdorf next as well up and after this one, where, as we mentioned, Tornado.ROX will be on the defensive side. I think for Tornado, they're very instinctual, very fast, very reactive team, you know, classically Russian-style play. Not on Russian-style maps, which is good to see. I mean, I was a little bit scared that we would be getting like Ruhenberg and Himmelsdorf. So it's good to see that we have steps and, you know, something a little bit different. Yeah,
it's always nice having steps in here. I think the map doesn't really lend itself to the teams. The teams create the battlefield themselves, and I always really like that about steps. It's a very creative map. You see so much movement and so much personality within the plays that the teams obviously define. But I think the teams are almost ready. Sorry, it's taking a little bit of time. Teams just want to make sure everything is spick and span because this is a very important game. First against third. We are live into the game, so let's turn our attention towards it. And do we see anything different here?
Well, we see no artillery. That's not unsurprising because second time around, you don't usually pick artillery. You always go for a different tactic. Team Supreme are not really a team that goes for the same thing twice because there's just no real point. If you got enough in your bag of tricks, why don't you just pick the next one along instead of going to what you already have done? So TRN.ROX don't seem to be following that mandate. Instead, just pushing up the hill. Again, positive, making that shot towards the right side, distracting Team Supreme, but it's not their plan anyway.
No, they've got something else completely in mind as they do flood the western side of the map. There you see the T-54s, the T-37, all heading through. Now, we have the Annihilator back up into position where we saw him previously. And we'll have to see this one being adjusted around. So, looking at this, they are looking like they're getting some decent presence on the map, at least at this point.
Yeah, you can see Team Supreme roaming around a little bit. I think TRN.ROX's plan is just to sit back and just wait for Team Supreme to make the first move. They can also be pretty aware of the fact that Team Supreme doesn't have an IS-3, so they're not going to be playing towards that right side. So it's very obvious of what Team Supreme is going to do. It's really about the execution from them, you know. How do they get that cap underway? Do they get the cap low enough? Do they take down the 59-16 before it gets too close or gets into a position where it can't actually be taken down? These are kind of questions going through both these teams' minds.
Yeah, and I've always loved SD Dynamo playing in towards this position up by like A3, A4. Always very good. I remember him and Phoenix being a brilliant duo there. And I'm hoping maybe at some point to see that again. But still, Phoenix this time actually challenging down towards the Annihilator. Or at least getting shots towards positive possibly and seeing what they can achieve. But there's that 59-16, just soaking it in.
Yeah, 59-16, a great position. I mean, I was kind of surprised, you know, we might have seen, for instance, like a Utopia 59-16 position, you know, sitting down in the DC 5-6 area. We don't see that. He's actually sitting in the bushes. Now, Team Supreme, very well known for their blind shots, kind of surprised that they're not going for it. But then again, they haven't got any reason to do it because none of the tanks have been spotted in a position that does lend towards that position for the 59-16. So Appar's going to be sitting in the cap, and that might be the first time Team Supreme gets an inkling of where that 59-16 is because he just gets spotted.
There we go. But Apar, he keeps taking so much damage in these games today. Kind of worried about him. Maybe not having the game of his life, but Nuclear, oh, what a brilliant bit of damage and Focus Fire coming in. They saw a weakness and they certainly made the most of that one. And well, Supreme's starting to trail here.
That's a 59-16. You know, it's such a good little tank. It's not got the greatest view range in the world, but it's pretty good when you got coated and binos on there, which of course he will undoubtedly have. And it gives you enough view range on those T-54s to actually spot over. It's only got, ooh, he does get some damage towards him. Obviously, those are blind shots. Has actually the...
Oh my god. That's nerves of steel to sit through this one.
Yeah, I mean, there's no point for him moving. If you move, you trigger a spotting check on the server, so you can get spotted a lot more easily, and that's obviously what they wanted to try and remove.
The beauty of this tank. Look how many players are aiming towards his position.
And by the way, moving the turret doesn't actually initiate spotting check. That's why he's moving it.
He's still there. They're putting so much towards it. Finally, Ron takes him down, but that was a good 30 seconds, 40 even, of gathering so much information.
And it's put the spanner in Team Supreme's work. I mean, Apple out low, Nuclear very low, and just thanks to a good binocular and a good camo net that really just provide enough 20 camo plus 25 on the spotting. You know, it's all good things here for TRN.ROX, and they've made Team Supreme really think twice of what they can do, and it's really limited their options. You know, if Tornado gets into a situation where they can have a firefight, you'll actually see them possibly walk away with it. But Ron's still in the cap, pressure's still on. Yeah,
20 seconds in here. It's not all that far off from a cap. So let's see what they can do. A little bit of damage towards Ron there. Shots come whizzing through again, but this time Ron enjoying the fact that he's not completely spotted just yet. Obviously not getting away with as much as we saw in 59-16, but still. This cap isn't a great option here. Ron is starting to struggle, and I think he might just go down at this rate if he's not careful.
Yeah, it will be game of Ron. He goes down. That's a classic move from TRN.ROX, you know, getting the position towards the left side so they can shoot in the cap, take down that T-37. And you can see, you know, the HP is not particularly far away for Team Supreme. They're still leading. and the tanks are the same, but still Tornado are on the defensive and they have the time in their favor.
Exactly that. The time is in their favor for now, but the cap's been sped up a fair crack, and look at it, 10 seconds left. We've got FC Dynamo joining Griffin here, and they're going to try and make a go of this one, and why not? Let's see what they can go for this one. Applewow's going to put himself there. Nuclear's joining in as well. It's a bit of a Hail Mary play, and they're going to try and make a little bit of a wall out of this one. 3 seconds left. Positives going to make the move towards the cap circle, but with time against them. Oh, the Armageddon finds Nuclear, but once again, this is brilliant play coming out from Tornado.ROX. 2 kills back to back, but that cover not quite perfect. FC Dynamo and Griffin trying to hold on here.
Yeah, but the one reset is really enough. I mean, once you get reset, there's it basically never happens where you win the game. As soon as you get reset on the cap, it's game over because the whole other team is basically surrounding your tanks. There's not much you can do, but still, Team Supreme lead now in HP, but down a tank, which is a big deal on a map like Steps. So their last option with this 1 minute and 12 seconds left is to push in to try and win those win the engages.
And well, the Annihilator's no longer in the same position, so this maybe could change things. We'll have to see. Looking at what they can do here, Team Supreme, they've tried to force the hand of Tornado.ROX. Let's see if it's going to slap him back, but Griffin moving in here. Shanish taking one on the move. Shanish needs to be careful. He's a little lower, down to 4-3-2, but Griffin not going to get the first shot off there, as actually Phoenix taking some damage.
Yeah, Phoenix receiving a little bit, but you'll see Team Supreme push in with his last few seconds remaining. They could still win this, it just depends on the angles.
Let's see if Griffin can make this one his own, and Griffin does find Zick, but that's a 1-for-1 trade. Maybe not what he wanted with the Annihilator sitting so pretty at this point. And sadly for Phoenix, he's going to find out as Negative deals with Shanish. Phoenix against the Annihilator. He's outmatched, outnumbered, and out of luck.
Yeah, Phoenix is going to be out and about in that T54. Obviously, the shot caller for GG World Played. It'll be interesting to see who's shot calling these days in Team Supreme. I believe it would probably be... I think it would probably maybe even be Phoenix. I mean, he's got a lot of experience. Ron's got a lot of trust in him. Obviously, Ron will be making the strategies and, you know, the overall overarching kind of way of looking at the maps and, you know, okay, you got to go there, you got to go there. But really in those high pressure firefight situations, you need a guy in there in the mix calling the action.
Yeah, of course. Ron's not going to be that player in that position. He never really plays that role. So it's quite important to have that. And you see that in various games. You'll have the overarching voice of one, let's say, in-game leader, essentially. And then you have one who kind of makes the off-the-fly call. So if they see something that they can only spot or they can only work from, they'll make the decisions and the choices, and the team has to go off the back of it. But still, 1-1. Good result so far. I think it's showing that these teams are actually very, very close here. And to be fair, Steps is giving us a good game.
Yeah, it's going well for both teams. Very enjoyable stuff. I think that one was simply won and lost when the position from the 59-16 was fantastic. It just stayed there. You saw Apwell getting caught out for almost 600 damage. Griffin receiving 1,001 damage there in the T54 lightweight. And it really put Team Supreme in an awkward situation where they couldn't push in anymore because they didn't have enough HP. Didn't have their T37 anymore because it got destroyed. And, you know, that's pretty much all your options out on Steps.
Yeah, and let's actually look back at that after you said it there, the 59-16. This positioning was wonderful.
Yeah, I mean, perfect stuff. He's got the binoculars for the 25% view range. He's got the vents for the plus commander skill 5%. He's got the camo net for the 10% for light tanks. You know, he's got all the things going. And looking at the damage from Tornado, Zick did great work. 2,000 damage in his T54, and the Annihilator 2,000, negative 1,800. And Phoenix really the only one doing anything for Team Supreme at 1.7k. But here's the thing, you know, Team Supreme are on such a level that even when they're losing, most of their players do a decent amount of damage.
Yeah, that's the point. When you play at this caliber, it's not necessarily someone having individual problems. It's just, okay, well, the other team had a better position. They played it better than us, and it kind of pans out that way. So you see it being a little bit of a different display from what we saw in our previous games, where we saw, you know, Hunter, for example, making individual mistakes, these kind of errors. Not the case with these guys. It's very rare you'll see someone make that much of an error that it then knocks on to the rest of the game. But still, side switch is going to come in, so it will be Tornado.ROX on the attack, if I'm not mistaken, and Supreme on the defense. But do you think it's going to go 1-1 again, or is someone going to break out here?
I think it technically should go 1-1. I mean, as I said, 55% on Steps for the attacker, 45% I believe for the defender. Have to check that one, but yeah, 53% for the attacker, 46% for the defender. So technically it should go 1-1 considering how close these two teams are. But, you know, let's see. Does Supreme go aggressive with that full light tank stack? Do they go defensive? How do they play this defensive side? And how well will the Armageddon play that M44? And will Team Supreme be able to expect what they do?
Yeah, well, it's the big question, isn't it? Will they be able to predict it? Last time, these two were very well up on what they thought each other was going to be able to achieve. But now, Supreme taking the time, got the Armageddon making first shot. Not going to find much there. And it's kind of gone down to that little bit of a quieter moment, as it looks like the teams are getting themselves together towards the south side.
Yeah, pretty high south stack. I mean, it's pretty obvious. Team Supreme did exactly the same thing when they were on the attack. And this is really what Tornado do when they play steps. You know, they like to switch things up, go for the classic stuff, you know, push down the south. And I think, you know, that's the two options you have on this map. You either go for the northern play, which obviously they can't do because they haven't got an artillery, or you play down the south towards the east because you have the artillery. You know, that's your two options here. Team Supreme, obviously going for the faster lineup. Maybe if they knew this was what TRN.ROX would do, they might pick an IS-3 or a T-32. But then again, you know, Tornado has the artillery, so that would be a direct counter for that.
Okay, so all these options in their minds, all these possibilities. It looks like that eastern side play is coming through. Got Phoenix and Griffin. These two seem like a duo that like to stick together here, but spotting mechanic coming out from Griffin, they're just catching against everyone pretty much, pushing up. So information gathered, Supreme now piling down.
Well, I think TRN.ROX should just push forwards. Because Griffin's not peeking, it says, okay, there's not really anyone there and behind to support. So Team Supreme now getting themselves in position to receive TRN.ROX. They've got a little bit more breathing room, but there comes the shot. That's what Team Supreme, no, that's what TRN.ROX needed. They needed the Armageddon to land it, and he does.
Well, you can depend on that man to make wondrous things happen, and you can keep your eyes on that as he's going to have a shot again in the next 3 seconds. But look at this play. TRN.ROX taking matters into their own hands here, but it's positive to take all the damage. He's down to a one-shot, but stays in the game somehow. We're still seeing TRN.ROX actually picking up the kills. They're making the most of this. FC Dynamo goes out on a limb, just goes heading in there by himself. But this game is looking like TRN.ROX have really got a good advantage so far.
You can really see how well the tanks works when you have the pack mentality there. When you have all the focus fire and all the tanks in one place, even if there are other tanks behind supporting them, you're shooting, it doesn't matter. You get the overmatch, you have more HP, you have more guns, you have everything more, and it simply wins out. You can see Team Supreme now trailing in HP. They're also trailing 2 tanks, and TRN.ROX are looking like they are really on to win this one.
They really are. Brilliant focus fire, brilliant play. See, in the new game mode, we see a lot more individual moments, I feel, sometimes, than in comparison to the previous game mode, where it's a lot more about the collective. But I think TRN.ROX really highlighting what you can achieve when you play as a whole. Now, Applewell and Shanish, the two newer players, I guess you could say, if you could ever refer to them as newer to this lineup, having to do the dirty work. And
stat padding.
Yeah, pretty much. It's like, look at my damage, I did everything.
Oh, obviously, Applewell, like, top damage dealer, basically, on Hall of Fame, you know, along with Elian and Vorsic. But, you know, 1.7k, pretty much useless at this point. You can see Tornado just getting themselves lined up on that cap, getting the cap on the way, and keeping Applewell at bay. Yeah,
this cap is almost inevitable in my eyes. It's not going to be stopped, I feel, by these boys. And as much as Applewell and Shanish are astounding players, that cap slowly but surely is working out. Shanish going to appear as a tasty bait, as Applewell might be able to get down Vorsic. He does. But 2 seconds on the cap, I think the job's done.
Yeah, game over. It will be TRN.ROX to pick up their first attacking round here on steps. And Team Supreme do go down in some fashion, but at the end of the day, it was always going to be Tornado.
Yeah, TRN.ROX then just instinctively playing together as a whole and playing so well. Yeah,
playing really nice. I mean, you could see the catalyst there. The Armageddon lands that one heat shell, 710 damage, I think he did. The average for the M44 when you use that ammo. It says, okay, we got that 710 damage advantage. Let's just push forwards. We see the 2 tanks sitting there, or the 3 tanks Team Supreme had. They have 5 tanks on them. They push around, they take them down, and that's game over. That's classic World of Tanks, and Team Supreme had no answer.
Yeah, they definitely did, and they were lacking any sort of response to that. And hey, I like seeing that play from TRN.ROX, showing that they can really play as a whole, and that was something that I thoroughly enjoyed watching. So hopefully we can see more of that going forward from these guys. But now they've got their second go at this. You can see this was the initial move that just impressed me so much.
Yeah, you have 3 tanks there for Team Supreme. No, 2 tanks there for Team Supreme. No, 3 tanks there for Team Supreme, sorry. TRN.ROX have 5. Team Supreme have Nuclear, Shani, Shinapwao in the background, but it doesn't matter if you have them in the background. They're not providing HP, and that's where Tornado.ROX wins it. Simple as that. And you know, once they take down Griffin, they have control of the cap, and it's game over.
Yeah,
and I want to look at the damage as well. Like,
who was it for the other side?
Like,
Let's
ignore Applewell.
Yeah, we saw that, but
I mean, the Annihilator 2K, the guy's a beast. You can also check out one of his pro player highlights where he actually does very well on Muravanka, I believe, with the bat chat. And then you have Vorsic, the top damage dealer for the season so far, and Negative finally in the T54, just below him with 1.2k. So 2k, 1.6, 1.2.
And it's just so well spread out, though, as well. That's the thing that impresses me. Of course, there's always going to be someone a lot lower than the others. But the fact that it's always well spread out just gives me a good idea. These teams play well as a collective. They play well as a whole. But they're not messing around, these guys. They want to get this game started up and get this one rolling. And that's what I like about you guys. You're not Virtus Pro. You're nice people. Thank you. Sorry, Virtus Pro, rip. But still, we are going in for the final round here on this map. So your prediction, is this going to even up? Or do you think it might actually go to like
I think this is going to even up. I think Team Supreme's going to take this next round.
All right. I don't think it'd be...
My calls have been bad today, but
they
like,
have been.
Come on.
But then again, like, no
I don't think anyone really called
the other games yet.
Yeah.
Like, all right, let's see what's going to go on in this one, because it's still up in the air fairly. It's still not decided just yet as to who's going to walk out with that advantage. We are live into the game, so we can turn our attention towards that any second now. And let's see what we have. Once again, Team Supreme on the defense. Tornado.ROX with the advantage on the attack.
Yeah, so same lineups from both teams, 2-5-1. 5 T54s and that tier 6, the T37, of course. The tier 6 choice for Tornado.ROX is the Armageddon again, going for the same tactic twice. And to be fair, it worked out. I mean, Team Supreme made some mistakes. They need to stack up a little bit better. Their focus fire needs to be on point more this round if they want to pick it up. But I would say Tornado are looking like the slightly better team. They are making the right decisions, and that could work out for them.
Yeah, it looked like the Armageddon was about to do like the Batman, little symbol in the back wall. Anyway, into the actual game itself. Nuclear in nice little position
Batman
here.
symbol, a bat.
Shut up. All right, let's regain focus. God damn it, Ollie. But so far, what's the difference here? If, let's say, Tornado.ROX do the exact same thing, what's now going to cause the difference that Supreme's now
Nuclear.
aware? Why?
He's sitting behind a bush. He's in the hold down position. He can spot out where Tornado.ROX are coming from. They can see the push from a million miles off, and you have that situation where if you have a tank towards that right side, up and towards the hill, if he's supported enough, you first of all have shots in your side and behind, and you have to actually swing your turret to one direction and not the direction where the other tanks are. So it's really put the spanner in the works to Tornado.ROX, and they know they can't push right.
Okay, so now next level of planning. I want to see how much variation they have. Of course, you'd say Supreme has a slightly deeper bag of tricks than Tornado.ROX, but who knows? It's still only one strategy's been shown so far by Tornado.ROX, so there's probably still at least got another couple of tricks up their sleeve. They've put the Armageddon down towards the southeast, around J0, and the rest are all heading up north.
It depends what Team Supreme does with this information now. It depends what they do, full stop. Now, if they rotate, they'll be able to find the M44, they'll be able to find the T54. But you also have a T54 in the middle providing support. So Team Supreme immediately seeing that Tornado.ROX aren't pushing towards the right, and they have to set up for that second position. Obviously, they rotate all the way around. But let's see how quickly Tornado can get the information here. If they can spot out those push, if they can spot out those tanks, this is going to be a good amount of early information and a good forewarning for what Team Supreme want to do.
Yeah, this is interesting. It is the battle of information now. It's the battle of gathering what's important, what's a bait, what's real, and already the Armageddon
beautiful.
finding Ron. That's massive. Perfect advantage to be gifted over there.
Yeah, I could hear that big shell, that howitzer coming out and just landing a shell onto the hardest tank, but Negative also caught in trouble.
Yeah, Negative's out on his own, really. He's finally got some backup coming from the north, but so far, Tornado.ROX looking a little sloppy in that little moment there. Negative might just make it away. He's down to a 1 shot and a half, to say the least, but still, he does stay in the game. Now, the Armageddon in trouble himself. Phoenix tries to pick up an easy little kill, but there is cover coming in. You're not going to pick up the Armageddon for free, Phoenix. And now he's caught in an awkward predicament, out in the open. But there's Applewell finding the Armageddon. Vorsic, though, laying away in the background now. Applewell fancies his chances, and why not? It's Applewell. Beautiful work from him. astounding individual, but can the rest of the team deal with Tornado.ROX?
Yeah, Tornado.ROX have just completely taken over that right side. I mean, they were slightly slow to help Vorsic, which gave Team Supreme, you know, that kill, but it's still 4 versus 5. And, no, 5 versus 5 even, sorry. So it's pretty even. Tornado.ROX have a slightly worse advantage, and it really does depend, position even, it really does depend how much Team Supreme can punish them for that.
Yeah, Shanish is the first one on the chopping board, it seems, and he'll just be picked up for free by the T-54s, and already Tornado.ROX really chipping away at Team Supreme, but Tornado.ROX are on the attack. Keep that in mind. Apoel fancies his chances. Out on a limb, he went to pick up Vorsic, of course, and now he's kind of sat there as a tasty, tasty piece of bait, but can Nuclear and Griffin cover him off? That could change a lot.
And it really does depend how much support he gets. If Apoel goes down for nothing, it's really going to be game over for Team Supreme.
2 shots committed towards it. Nuclear exchanging one towards positive at least, but again, it seems a little lackluster from Team Supreme. Griffin's in a great little spot though, get himself around the backside. Nice. This could work out. Griffin doing wonderfully here. Nuclear as well, sitting okay at the moment. Not being challenged down. Shot towards the Annihilator. They need to get these tanks gone though. They're all on such low HP. Here comes the cleanup. It's Griffin, it's Apoel, and Team Supreme might have just turned this one on its head. The T-54 still in play, is capped. There's such an issue, but Negative finding Nuclear brings us down to a 2v3. Apoel has to be brilliant here.
They're all one-shots, that's the thing. Tornado.ROX on low HP,
Apoel.
Apoel's on fire, takes him down.
Can he do any more? 2.4k already. He's going to have a shell available soon. He needs to get this kill. Positive is looking for it. Apoel, a classic player, spots him out. Waits for the shot, gets it. Apoel, 5 kills in 1 game. 2.5k damage.
Unbelievable.
We say sometimes he has that needless damage element, but sometimes he does this. And that is why he's arguably one of the best players in the world right now. Negative now has 2 to find, and not a lot of time to do it on the attack.
When you put yourself in an awkward position, you come out alive and with a lot of damage. That really just defined you as one of the best players in the league. And Apoel, you know, he was instinctually going into a position where he took down Vorsic in, and then use that position against Tornado.ROX. Now, Team Supreme on the defense, they don't need to do anything.
Yep.
Negative has been great in this match, 1.7k. You can't shrug your shoulders at that.
No,
but he's got 1 minute and 18 seconds, which is too little to cap. You need 120 on 754. So Team Supreme, as long as they don't get caught out, as long as they have a line of sight on each other, they should be laughing.
Yeah, and I just can't get over the fact that Apoel was so goddamn important to that game. He just absolutely brought it home for them. But still, keep in mind, Negative is still in this one, but so little time, and these guys can just obviously adapt around if they need to.
Yeah, it's just surely game over. Negative, you know, is doing the best he can. He wasn't in the fight that much because he was trying to hold the angle. He did well against Griffin, to be fair. That's that 1 kill he's got down there on the panel below, on the lower panel. So 2 versus 1, 30 seconds left on the timer, and really Team Supreme looking to even this one up.
Yeah, something you predicted, and Apoel 194 kills so far, or confirmed targets destroyed. And let the shot fly, and it's FC Dynamo to close out.
Yeah, I think 5 kills might be one of the higher kills we've had in WGL so far. I mean, I think New Multi-Show has a record in a Go 4 where he actually got all 7 kills in a 5100 on Abby, so that guy's still a beast.
Of course
but
he did.
That was really in his, like, you know, it's probably like he's the only one left. He's got 100% HP. All of his team's done a lot of damage, and he just comes in and cleans up.
Yeah, that kind of sums him up, though, as a player, just kind of generally. But still, 2-2. This game is looking phenomenal. We've just seen so many brilliant moments from that, because in theory, Team Supreme at times had the advantage. They had player numbers higher, they had everything going for them. Positionally, they were down a little, but even in the situation, Apoel just went huge.
Yeah, Apoel was a really good position, really good player. Some strange decisions. I mean, he had plenty of opportunities to finish off the lower targets, but what he did basically was make sure they're all one-shots, which gives his team the ability to win even if something bad happens to him. So nice kind of foreplay. And to Tornado's credit, you know, they were doing very well up until that point. I think they were a little bit too slow to help Vorsic out, who was in a 2-5-1. So they kind of overreacted, and they got caught between Griffin, FC Dynamo, and Apoel.
Yeah,
and I think they should have just pushed on to Apoel at the end of the day. Should have just taken him out.
Yeah, they had to either commit or just kind of find something else. It was that in between, that hesitation that kind of cost them a little bit there and kind of dwindled their focus, and it kind of faded away a touch. But I need to get I Love Apoel t-shirt, I think, because this guy, every time I see him play, it's like, oh yeah, he's really good, and they just say something amazing. It's like, that's why I'm such a fan of this guy. It's so rare you see someone able to actually help the
We
team.
know we can
as
get
much
that
as
made,
does.
right?
I will wear this.
We can get that made.
I will be a biased caster, and I don't care.
We are making some T-shirts, and we can get Athwow's cute little face
To
on
be fair, I think a lot of people would buy that, you know?
Yeah.
I think we'd get like a nice range. It needs to go in the ESL shop.
Most popular item on the ESL shop.
Pretty
Prediction
much.
from me right there.
Yeah, they've been so good so far today.
I know, man.
outside of this game. Like, this game you're doing all right in. But still, 2-2.
Yeah.
Melly, it's been a pretty good game so far.
Absolutely.
Me and Ollie are loving this one. But how are the people at home finding this? Because it was a little bit in favour to Supreme at the start. Has it evened up?
And still is. It's still
Really?
60% in Supreme's favor, and currently with an even score, heading out of steps, going on to mines. People still have a little time left to get in their predictions and votes. So head over to facebook.com/WGLEU and get in your votes if you haven't already. Vote for your favorite team and then predict the exact scoreline to tell us, well, that you actually know it better than us. Pretty much. And people, if you don't use Facebook, if you don't want to use Facebook, use the hashtag WGLEU to tell us everything else. What's on your mind? If you have questions, if you want to hand in your predictions, that way you're very welcome to do so. And also, you should follow our YouTube channel if you're not already following it, youtube.com/WGLEU, because that's where all the VODs will appear over the next few days, and of course to rewatch all the other VODs from the past match days. And as said, the next map will be Himmelsdorf, right? Right, sorry, I got myself a little confused there. So next map will be Himmelsdorf, and we will see you back after a short break.
Welcome back to the WGLEU. We are so close to finding out who's going to be the victor here. Both teams are tied up at 2-2 so far. It's Tornado.ROX against Team Supreme. We're in match week 7 now, and this is one of my favorite matchups I've seen so far. These teams can't be separated. Yeah. Tactically so close, individually brilliant. I don't know what to expect on the next map. Yeah, this is going to be a fantastic map. I mean, to be fair though, Team Supreme chose Steps as theirs, and it went 2-2, so I don't think they're too happy going on to what is now Tornado.ROX's map choice, Himmelsdorf, and also the most played map. I mean, they had great results on it. They struggled across the board against Sinji, for instance, against ASAP, for instance, but 52.9% win ratio here on Himmelsdorf, but 17 rounds played. You can't argue with that experience. No, and especially if they're holding even just a slightly positive number, that's very impressive over that many games. I'm a little worried for Team Supreme here. I feel as though, but classically, when they were, GG well played or Nova, they were great on this map as well. And then you add in the kind of Team Dignitas element or, Synergy element. It's, School Bus, I guess. Like, all these teams combined, they're absolutely brilliant at Himmelsdorf, but I don't know, this game could go either way. Yeah, I mean, the thing is, right, Team Supreme have been avoiding these, like, heavier tank lineup maps. So, like, Ruinberg, they've been avoiding. They haven't played Ghost Town. Yep. They haven't really played Himmelsdorf. They played it 5 rounds. What they've been doing is picking, like, Lakevilles and Steps and Mines specifically because they've got so many good light tank players. It makes sense. True. We'll have to see if they can handle those heavier tanks. But, Melly, if people at home want to get involved, get some final thoughts through to us, they can still do so. Yeah, a few minutes left as soon as you see this, because as soon as the second map starts, the vote will close. So hurry, head over to facebook.com/WGLEU to get your chance of bonus codes. We'll be giving away one of 3 bonus codes for the exact prediction of you guys. So, and if it's the fastest, which is really doubtful at this point, but you could try, right? Trying is definitely worth it because it's 500 gold and 8 days of premium, and also use the hashtag WGLEU to get involved. Well, all of it's been laid out for you perfectly by Melly, so you know what to do, you know how to do it. Melly's got you covered. Ollie, your prediction in this map, what's the score going to be? 4-4. I kind of agree. Like, I was like, oh, guys, it's getting late. Like, look at my phone, like, oh, it's getting a little bit late. I need to go home soon. Screw it. There's going to be some good tanks. I don't care how late this goes. If it's good games, I'll be here all night. Yeah. So here we go. We're going to get ourselves ready. Couple of seconds until this one starts. The producer's telling me his sad life story. I don't care. He loves it as well. Let's get some tanks going because this game is live. And I can't wait to find the results. So, Team Supreme on the attack, Tornado.ROX on the defense. And what do we see from these two? Well, we got the Waffenträger, which is not unusual for Tornado.ROX. They've picked it before. Pretty good pick. I like it on the defensive side. It gives you a lot of burst power. As everyone knows in World of Tanks, on city maps, you want to make that first shot count. You only really get one shot between the houses in many respects, so you need to do as much damage as possible. I mean, like back in the day when the T-32 was a tier 10, you have the 750 damage gun, you could do a lot of damage around the corners, and even if it doesn't have a lot of armor, it doesn't matter. You do a lot of damage. So I think it's a good pick-up from Tornado.ROX. Team Supreme going for the 5100s, an IS-3s, and of course Nuclear in that T-32. This is a very polarizing start. East and west, basically. Cut down the middle, almost. We are seeing the retraction back towards the north here. Thank you, observers. We'll have to see if they can keep doing this. I'm so scared. There we go. Oh,
it's like a Japanese flag, that middle.
It actually did. It did a little bit. That's adorable. Nice face work. That's better than your line drawing.
Is it? Is Uzbekistan the one with the... How
the hell would I know that?
I don't think it's Uzbekistan. It's one of the other CIS countries.
Dear Lord, I have no clue.
It's Kyrgyzstan with the sun.
I didn't know that was a place. Anyway, we are seeing the northeastern push going out from Team Supreme.
Geography, yeah.
Don't do A-levels, one of those.
Don't know. Three IS-3s for Team Supreme pushing down. This is actually what they did against... I think it was Wusa. Where they actually set up behind the bush towards the right side. Yeah, I think it was against Strunk, actually. And they just put so much pressure on in the cap that really they had no idea where to go. But then again, Tornado.ROX are set up to deal with that push with Kopila and the Armageddon. Kopila has the right side cleared, and the Armageddon has the left side cleared.
Yeah, and already Supreme taking a bit of damage there. It's Ron who actually gets the first shell towards him. TRN.ROX know what's going on, but Griffin has found that T-37, but it kind of plays into the hands of the Armageddon now.
Yeah, so actually this is going well for TRN.ROX. I mean, they have really everything Team Supreme is doing under control. I think the biggest worry right now will be Ron. I mean, often you see the MX-12T being the kind of instrument of disaster when you're on the attack. It's the one that makes the first move. It's the one that, you know, initiates the cap. It gets into an awkward position which you can't really deal with. You know, it's like a horsefly. It's just really, really bad for you, and it might cause TRN.ROX some issues. Now you see Team Supreme getting themselves ready to push against the Armageddon. That might be a good idea because they can take him down before Vorzik's negative and Zik can provide support.
Yeah, but I think a couple of spots are coming through very early on then. I'm not too sure how, but regardless, they're pushing in for this Apoel at the front, the Armageddon nuclear, and then Run at the back. This is something we saw before. Will it work again? The TRN.ROX have been fairly aware so far of this. And looking at Ron, getting into position, providing that cover.
Yeah, he's going to be going hull down. Is that behind that MX-12T. You can see Apoel's getting the cap on the way. So, I mean, Team Supreme really forced this move. TRN.ROX knew they would be doing it. Team Supreme say, screw it. Okay, we know you're good. We know that you know we're going to do it. We're going to do it anyway. We're going to force you to make the move. And, well, it depends on that 5100 down south you see from Team Supreme to actually say, okay, we're going to go left, we're going to go right, we're going to take it down. You know, when do we peak? That's going to be the big question here.
And I do like the intuition already of putting that 5100 in the south from Team Supreme, but we have to see what they can withstand. As you said, this is still like up in the air. No one's really made that big play yet. Of course, Team Supreme has started this one off, but there's a lot to be seen just yet. We saw how good Apoel can be on the defensive side of this one when he's the player in Armageddon's position, but now on the offensive, it kind of changes things around.
Yeah, so you got TRN.ROX basically taking the quickest route. The 5100 actually has been kind of negated there for TRN.ROX, but big shell onto Phoenix.
Yeah, Phoenix taking a hell of a lot of damage then, and already Apoel getting one. This is a bit of an all-in play coming out from TRN.ROX, and they're peaking as a whole. Positive's going to have to back out of that one. Griffin takes a lot too, and this is a bit of a shooting fish in the barrel here, but it's all coming towards Team Supreme. They're down so low, 4.8k already. The fire comes back in towards the Armageddon and has turned into a brawl. And
Griffin does actually fall there, and Nuclear will probably be the second one there. The thing is, the 5100 of Shanish is not really in the battle.
It's certainly not, and look at this. TRN.ROX are making the most of it. Nuclear, FC Dynamo, all down and out. Apoel left on his own here. 1v5 pretty much in his own predicament. He's got some support from the backside, and he's still trying to fight for this one. He's doing what he can, but it looks like a lost cause, as Shanish was so far away from being in this game.
Yeah, Shanish really has so much to do right now. Phoenix is on reload. He will actually escape that situation, and Shanish finally doing some damage against Positive.
He needed to do so much more. So earlier on, I feel he's doing some good work there towards Positive, but there's still Zik with over 1,000 HP in the game in that IS-3, and I just don't see Supreme pulling this off. Phoenix!
Nice position by
Beautiful
Phoenix.
Position. Absolutely beautiful.
Yeah, but that's really not the concern right now. Shanish has one more shell in that 6-shell autoloader. Will make it work for him. Vorsic goes down, but Zik coming off reload. And, well, Positive does find Phoenix. So this will be game over. Surely Team Supreme will fall. And Zik only has about 3 seconds left.
This would mean TRN.ROX take the advantage as Zik closes it out. And my word, TRN.ROX looking confident, looking ready, and looking aware of exactly what Team Supreme were going to do and responding well to it. Actually, tell a lie, it wasn't instantly they knew what they were doing. They started off with a push down towards the west, retracted back up, and it seemed to work out.
I have something in my eye.
You're right.
Yeah, that's fine.
Just close your eye, be a pirate.
God, I hate that.
Arr.
No, but this is the thing, you know, Team Supreme really forced this move, and I think TRN.ROX saw Team Supreme do this against Strong CM and obviously came up with a good plan of action. I think the other thing is, you know, at the end of the day, Shanish wasn't in this battle. You know,
where was he?
He was all the way down south. He was trying to take care of like the cross and make sure, you know, he can come from behind, blah, blah, blah. But TRN.ROX just go from A to B really quickly. They push onto these 4 tanks, also nuclear in that T-32, less damage potential from him, 5 versus 4. Game over.
Pretty much. Not much more to be said about that. Just nicely played out Himmelsdorf. They're showing you how it's done from start to finish. But can they do this again? That's the thing. It looks like TRN.ROX keep taking the upper hand and then it taken away. I want to see like back-to-back rounds now coming in. Do you think they can do it?
I don't know. I think this is going to go back towards Team Supreme. I mean, of course, you know, attacking rounds very hard. TRN.ROX have a lot more experience on Himmelsdorf than Team Supreme, etc., etc., etc. But looking at the damage, Zik 2.6k, a negative 1.9k, positive 1.6k. This is always nice to see from like a perspective of Tornado.ROX when you're kind of close to each other, and then you look at like Team Supreme 1.5 from Phoenix, 1.4 from Griffin. I'm doing the Alexing now. Shanish with 1.4 as well. So pretty close as, altogether, but I think Nuclear in that T32 might have been a mistake.
Yeah, it made so little impact to me overall. I'm kind of surprised it didn't do any more damage, any more work. It didn't really play much of a feature, but still. Scoreline-wise, you think Supreme's going to come back into this now?
Yeah, I think so.
And Melly, how are the people out at home finding this? Are they still thinking it's a Supreme game?
Absolutely, 61%. Vote just closed a round ago. And yes.
Well, maybe they're going to start regretting that one, because already we are seeing a slight lead being formed by Tornado.ROX. We'll have to wait and see, of course. They can still get their thoughts through to us on Twitter using the hashtag, right?
Absolutely. As always, head over to Twitter, follow us at WGLEU to stay updated during the matches, because even if you can't follow the stream, I will annoy you with spammed updates towards your Twitter timeline.
Beat them up. Throw them out there. Anyway, teams are ready. Thank you, Melly. We can now dive into this one and take a look at what we've got coming up. It looks fairly similar, but yeah.
Same from both teams. I mean, let's see what Team Supreme do this time around. In my opinion, they should just play instinctually. Don't force the situation. Don't force a move. And probably just play out towards that left side. It makes more sense from their perspective.
Yep, and, well, let's see how this one goes. I want to see if that T32 can affect a little more, have a little bit more of play in this. It's going to be Nuclear with that one and Ron in the 12T. And he does get a glimpse of that IS-3. That would be, I believe, Zik, who's already been spotted there.
Yeah, so immediately Team Supreme, they know that, that Tornado.ROX are setting up towards the left side. So in my opinion, 8-line push is really the logical thing to do. Yep. Once you see there's like 1 or 2 tanks towards one side, you just need to be really quick. You need to be on the pulse. You need to push a position. And you can actually take down a tank before the other team even know what's hitting them. And
apparently you were right with that flag, by the way.
Was I?
Yeah, that's what it is.
Nice.
Yeah.
Nailed
Never even knew. Anyway, attention away from the game. That's impress as ever. Just kind of like reminded me I'm stupid. So thanks.
To be fair, it's a pretty obscure country.
It is. Like,
second poorest country in Central Asia as well.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh wow, you really did do like
a school project
geography.
or something.
Yeah,
I got a brain for the most useless information, but Zik going so low in that IS-3, it caught out in the middle.
Yeah. Finally, the T-32's doing a little something, kind of nudging Zik out of position. Oh, Nuclear has to be careful though. There's Positive and the Annihilator both sending back shots, and Zik, there's nowhere really to run or hide here. He's kind of in a bad predicament.
Yeah, I mean, that's the thing, you know, Nuclear, really good hull down position. I think we saw this from Synergy as well against Virtus Pro. They put the T-32 on the hill because the spawn's not that bad for the T-32. Remember, on the attacking side, they spawn basically halfway up the hill, so it doesn't take that long. So it's worked out very well for Team Supreme. Now they have the HP advantage. They can easily just force out Zik into a position where he dies. They have to go forwards. They can really make something work for them.
Let's wait and see. Supreme yet to take even a touch of damage here, but yet to really make their impression on the map just yet. Apoel there does receive one. Need to be a little bit careful, but Tornado.ROX have so much map control. Yeah,
they got basically the whole map. I can see that Tornado.ROX wants to try and like force Team Supreme off the hill, keep them distracted. You can see some damage has gone towards Apoel. So, you know, there's a lot of things happening, but Team Supreme now pushing off the hill with the T-32 and the AMX 5100 of Phoenix and Nuclear. So this is the first move coming out in the 8-line as well. An option. It's great to see that Team Supreme can see the weakness. They know if they push the 8-line, Zik will die and the Armageddon will die.
Let's see if those two factors come true. Already the Armageddon taking a hell of a lot of damage there, down to 757. As much as I love looking at positive. As Zik is that one shot, sat in the corner. His position is known. Now, of course, Zik could maybe stay alive a little longer, make them soak up a little bit of damage, but at the moment the cross is going out and we're not seeing too much going towards Team Supreme. Really, that IS-3 tucked down into the corner didn't do as much as hoped, but here we go, Vortex there at least. FC Dynamo pushing forward towards cover.
And Phoenix and Nuclear coming from behind. Ron as well in the cap, actually putting the second dimension of pressure on, and you'll see the close in now from Team Supreme.
Let's see if they can make this one quick. Last time they struggled with this. Last time they got ground down, worn down. Borsig though at the forefront here. 5100 can't really bounce those shells as much as the IS-3s, as you can see, and he's down to a one-shot. FC Dynamo might just take that one. Nuclear actually going for him, both of them wasting a bit of a shot on that.
Yeah, but that's the thing, you know, you prefer to get them down, especially considering they're not autoloaders, so it doesn't really matter. And it's not like Tornado.ROX can take advantage of that and go forwards. But Zik's still a thorn in the side for Team Supreme.
How is he still alive?
Maybe if he had more HP, he would have actually been a real issue and a real threat for them.
I'm surprised they haven't committed someone to it, but then I guess there is still 3 or 4 tanks there that can cause damage if they try and crest those corners. So it does kind of make sense that they're maybe having to ignore him for a bit. Griffin toying with the idea of going for it, but still, there's a lot on the line here, and bearing in mind, Tornado.ROX aren't that far behind.
No, but here comes the powerhouse of Nuclear and Phoenix, Griffin, also trying to take care of Positive. So there's all these little battles happening around the map, you know, and at the moment Team Supreme seems to be winning them all. I wonder if Shanish just decide to go on the side, and finally SE Dynamo just peek, and that'll be the end of Zik.
Yeah, pretty much. And now Tornado.ROX are down a fair few players. The Armageddon is on the receiving end from FC Dynamo. And now 5 players remain. Yeah, as you said, Supreme just winning out on those smaller battles, basically.
Yeah, and the Annihilator really not doing anything right now. Ron might actually win this one, and he does.
Oh,
he finds that T37. That should never happen. As Phoenix as well, going on to negative. So, you know, Tornado.ROX are still in this battle just a bit, considering 820 damage from that 17-centimeter beast on that Waffle Tiger.
Yep. And negative now, last man alive, 33 HP.
15.6, sorry.
God, how dare you get it wrong, Solly. Animal. Anyway, 2 left standing for Tornado.ROX. They're not in a great shape. The Annihilator and Positive pretty darn low. And well, it's a matter of time. Base is being captured. Sadly, the Annihilator didn't really get into the game too much until this point, where I don't feel the damage has really done much to shape the outcome of the game. And Zapow just waiting on his shot. And 9 seconds left. There's not much to do here.
Yeah, Annihilator done a bit of damage there. Not as much as you probably should have done, but second to last falls, penultimate kill for Team Supreme to make this all even, Stevens, as the Annihilator does go down thanks to Applewow's IS3. And what did I say? 3-all now going into what will be the switcheroo Team Supreme on the defense.
Yeah, 4-4's not far away now, and it would make sense, you know, 1 for 1 every single time. These 2 teams were close. What's the deciding map in this one?
Himmelsdorf.
Himmelsdorf again.
Yeah.
All right, because obviously Steps was just a
reschedule.
Yeah, it was a reschedule.
Yeah.
It's getting late, guys. It's almost midnight here. You know, I've been working a while. You know, send me some help. Send help, please.
You got a lot of treats through your fans.
I haven't for a
Amazon.
while. I haven't had any Iron Brew in ages.
I get some. I get some handkerchiefs.
Why
to be fair,
are you not?
Why didn't you bring them?
This is not actually. This has no hole. Like it's just stapled.
Just like
I could wear my other suit jacket, but the problem is it like scrumples up too much. It looks bad on camera.
Scrumples up. Yeah.
Yeah.
Don't be mean, Melly.
It
Gosh,
does.
you're picking on him
All right,
already.
glitter girl over there. Jesus.
Glitter girl.
I like my glitter.
You can't really see it that much on
Primary school kids made that. But Zik, you
They
can
made
see
up the word Schmetterling apparently as well, Ollie. But you know, let's not go on about it.
good retort. I think
Thanks, mate.
rebuke. I think is the word actually.
Rebuttal.
Rebuttal. Yeah. Rebuttal. No, but you can see.
You're a mature school kid.
Zik already gone low there, and that's the thing. You know, you never want to be in a position where you got one tank very low. I think Zik's position could have been taken by Kopila. I mean, you could see he was trying to get the exchange with Ron a little bit later on, but at the end of the day, I think this was already Team Supreme's game. They just needed to play it logically. You could see the rotate as well from Nuclear and Phoenix. From the hill, they go down, and it just goes very well for them. They come from both angles. The 8 line from the north and 8 line from the south.
Yeah, nicely done in the end. But close games. It didn't feel like it was completely decided too early on. It felt like it could have gone either way, but slowly but surely, Supreme did wear them down. Now, going on to the other side of things, we can see more of the same pretty much here, I assume.
We haven't really had a chance to see Team Supreme that much on the defensive side. They potentially have a good chance. I mean, as I said, the defensive side is still slightly favored for Himmelsdorf. I think it's more down to the mentality of the teams. But looking at Steps, I think Team Supreme look more, you know, alive and more volatile on the attack. So I don't know. I think Tornado.ROX actually has an opportunity to bring this 5-3.
Sorry, the fly's back again. I'm
It's
not just
so
going
annoying.
mad, like just waving at my desk.
It's so annoying.
Yeah, I don't know. I'm not sure. I think I think this is going to be 4-4. To be completely honest, I think we're going to go to the deciding map. We're going to do another round of Himmelsdorf, and it's going to go down to who makes the right play at the right time. I don't think anything else is going to happen. But Melly, how are the people out there finding this game so far?
It's like they can't really decide. I mean, two of the strongest teams of the season are clashing, and in chat, stuff like Tornado could actually pull this. They look quite solid on Himmelsdorf. So solid performance from both teams, and I mean it clearly shows in the score, going back and forth. One team stepping ahead, then the other one just pulling up. And I also think that we'll be seeing our third map tonight.
Yeah, well, I think that's logical. I mean, these two teams are so close. Like,
yes.
I mean, Team Supreme is like, you got to understand, Team Supreme is pretty new. They have some players from GGWorld played, like Phoenix, Griffin, and Ron, but then they have like Apoao, obviously FC Dynamo as well. They have like Apoao and Shanish from School Bus. So, you know, Team Supreme have a lot of kind of, you know, a lot of issues they need to fix, and you know, this is the first time, maybe apart from Ding, that they've really been tested, and you know, they'll be able to find out where their weaknesses are after this matchup.
Yeah, they could indeed come back actually stronger from this, but Ron's position spotted down, but he gets some good information down there by K5. Ron going to tuck himself in the corner. Zik, the Armageddon and Positive, just around the side.
See, this is what I wanted, you know. Zik was in the same position as Ron last time, and I think it's just more logical to have a smaller, less important tank, in quotation marks, in that position. And it also means that Ron, you know, he has that ability to go back and forwards. You know, he can spot that 8-line push. He can spot the middle push as well, as long as he doesn't take too much damage. And now just sitting safe, getting the proxy spot, seeing where the Armageddon is. And
what do we make of Team Supreme's basically very standardized hold here? It's not all that indicative of a play. It's like they're just kind of taking it very, very stationary, cautionary, not doing anything outward, basically. Well,
the thing is, you know, the IS-3 in E1, it either goes very well for a team or it goes very badly. If it gets caught out, it's basically dead, like straight away, because you need a 5100 A1 to support it. So TRN.ROX have those kind of options going. Now, Vorsic there on the hill, that's really what TRN.ROX are relying on to keep Ron safe.
Well, Ron's not going to be too safe for too long.
Ron dead.
Yeah. Ron's actually in a really cute little spot. He's kind of tucked into the actual building itself, so he's able to actually get a little bit of damage towards Zik. And he's dead. Zik does pick him up in the end with Positive, but Positive.
Careless play there from Positive. I think he just lost awareness of his position then.
Yeah, a little unfocused. Maybe just kind of positioning towards Apoao a little too early, giving away a little too much then, but there's still Vorsic on the hill. Still trying to help him out, make sure Nuclear or Shanish or Griffin can't really make a play off the back of it.
Yeah, so let's see what the options are for TRN.ROX. I mean, I think the hardest play would be to push from the 0 line down the hill, because they've got 2 tanks there. But you can see Team Supreme are really set up for a push in the 2 area because they got the IS-3 in the F1 area. So I think TRN.ROX are going to push up the 8 line and push through the middle. But Phoenix just spots Capilla.
That can make it a little bit more difficult here, and Phoenix maybe fancying his chances in this one. Vorsic's actually backing away, so he could catch out Capilla. The IS-3s are moving through the map as well. It's going to get dangerous.
This could be really good for Phoenix because he's got support of those IS-3s from behind.
Yep, let's see if he can get it. Ooh, taking a bit of damage there, actually. Backing out. He's not done too perfectly. He's got the information, I guess, but down a little low.
I thought, you know, maybe the 5100 would actually push onto Phoenix, but yeah, that was not a good exchange for him. 500 to 300 damage.
Oh, and look at those IS-3s in the center of the map. They are just cornering Nuclear in as well. This is a little bit of an all-in play coming out from TRN.ROX towards Nuclear at least. He's got 3 tanks barreling him down, making forward Zik around the back, and Positive just deletes him off the map. That was such an easy pickup for them.
And also because Phoenix received that damage from Vorsic and Capilla, he will go down.
And one by one, TRN.ROX are just picking up Team Supreme. They're not making much of a fight. They don't seem like a collective. Sure, okay, Shanish finds Positive, but there's still 2 more tanks making their play here. That IS-3 over in E1, not really having the biggest impact just yet. Shanish on the run, trying to make it out, but I don't think he can. The Annihilator's going to have reload pretty soon. He's going to be able to make another shot. Gets it in the back. The Armageddon just about avoiding another shot from Griffin, but sooner rather than later, Shanish is going to be holding the Armageddon, punishing him in that position.
It really does depend if Griffin can really hold his own now. If he can survive this onslaught by negative, it will be Team Supreme to pick up this round.
Well, we're going to have to wait and see. TRN.ROX are low as my voice is breaking for some reason because, you know, I'm a 14-year-old boy. But FC Dynamo and Apoao, last 2 alive.
Still funny because Team Supreme are leading about 600-700 HP.
Surprisingly. And
oh, that's a big bounce onto the
God.
side of the I3. That's a beginner mistake from Apwell.
Apwell, what
Not
are you
good,
doing?
not good at all. That might have just cost him his life.
Yeah, I think he knows that. He's probably more frustrated himself than anything after that one. Certainly was a possibility that maybe Supreme could have made something out of this round, but Zig says no, and now FC Dynamo 1v4.
Yeah, you can still do this, but only because Negative is on reload now in that MX 5100. The Armageddon, a 2-shot, the Annihilator, 2-shot, Negative, a 2-shot. So I don't know, I think this will be game over. Apwell had to get down, I think it was positive in the IS3, if the Team Supreme had any chance to win this match.
Yep. Well, cap is on. FC Dynamo taking the long way. And sadly, mostly to his demise.
But 657 damage is just not enough. I mean,
it's really not.
He was kind of playing around the map. He was trying to help Phoenix there in the 5100. But, you know, the onslaught from TRN.ROX was really, really strong. And you can see there's a lot of issues with Team Supreme being struck out all across the map. That's really cost them a lot this round.
It's going to be Negative to see him first. 25 seconds. First shot comes in. 1-for-1 trade there, but Negative does have a lot of shells to make this one hurt. I think FC Dynamo knows he's kind of screwed here. And Negative does it. There we go. TRN.ROX make it 4-3. And they're on match point. If they can close out the next round, they'll have beaten, well, arguably the best team in the league so far. So what a performance. And Himmelsdorf seeming just to work in their favor a little bit more, at least in my opinion. Yeah,
very instinctual Himmelsdorf play. I mean, like, they saw Nuclear. They saw two things. First of all, they saw I believe, who was it on that left side? I think it was it FC Dynamo? No, not FC Dynamo. I think it was Griffin, the IS3, all the way over towards the left side. They saw he was kind of out of the battle. They saw Phoenix was pretty much dead because he received 2 shells from the T-37 and also Phoenix. So they knew they could take him out. So there was basically 2 tanks out of the game. They saw Nuclear unsupported on his own. Well, not unsupported, but not supported enough. So they take Nuclear down, and then they can take down Shanish as well in the 5100. Yeah, so this is going so well for Tornado right now.
It was perfect. They were able to find the weaknesses, and the weaknesses were shown quite readily, to be fair, by Team Supreme. They were not holding those cards close to their chest. They were being quite obvious with, you know, the weaknesses here and there, and there was no real crossfire setup, and Shanish, as you mentioned, does get picked up in the end. The Annihilator hits this one, and then the Armageddon takes one from the backside, but he will make it around the corner and stop Shanish in his tracks.
Yeah, Shanish dies actually a few seconds after that clip ends, so... Yeah, I think TRN.ROX deserved that round. The Team Supreme let themselves be broken apart and maybe a little bit too obvious on their play. Maybe not considering that 5100 had peaked so far over the hill. And you really have to give it to Vorsic. He's been in Virtus Pro. He's been in School Bus. And now he's in TRN.ROX, and it finally feels like he's, you know, a really young player, and he's actually found a home where he can perform and not be stressed out the whole time.
Well, that's it. You put a young player in such an awkward predicament like he was. He's had, what, R-Clip being around him, and people, you know, actually some really harsh captains, some really stressful environments, but it seems that this team just actually operates well. They don't have that kind of serious element that really locks them down, but they have such ability and skill that it kind of equals out. But still, this could be TRN.ROX's map. This could be their game. They could win it in normal time if they win this round. However, if Supreme pick it up, we're going back into Himmelsdorf for one more round. Let's find out who's going to walk away with this one. Is it Team Supreme? Will they take it into that decider map? Or has TRN.ROX had enough and want to take their go at the top? They're not far from it. They're in 3rd currently. Obviously, Supreme in for other... Yeah. Words are hard right now.
Team Supreme are first.
Yeah. That's what I wanted to say, but my brain was like...
Are in 12th. Correct.
Yeah, my brain's a little slow right now, and I need probable help. But anyway, let's get hyped up for this one, because it's TRN.ROX on match point. Wow, and Team Supreme on defense. Whoa, I'm out, guys. I'm done. I'm just gonna go. But take it away, Ollie. What are we seeing so far?
Well, we're seeing the T-37 head up the hill, which is not unsurprising. A 5100 there as well. So, you know, TRN.ROX just trying to take control over the normal positions on this map, but you can see straight away Positive receives a shell as he heads through the middle, and maybe not the best amount of information, you know, a big information giveaway straight away for TRN.ROX. So Team Supreme, you'll see them flex around that.
Flex point pointed out by our dearest Ollie after such a wonderful statement to begin with. Oh, let's hope we don't do drug testing in the office, eh, Ollie? Zik taking one. It's all right, Melly, you're not official staff, you'll be fine. I can make so many horse jokes off the back of this, but I feel I might actually get fired.
Let's just be quiet. Let's just be quiet.
I might cross. All right, so T37 keeping Ron and Phoenix at bay.
It's funny you used the word line there.
God.
Good choice of words.
It's gotten late. It's like almost midnight, and it's just like our brains are now seeping through our noses.
5 hours of casting. Nice.
Nice. All right, so FC Dynamo holding on towards the angle here on that A line. What do we make of Team Supreme on defense at the moment? Are they seeming to be a little less vulnerable? Are they looking like they can hold it together? Or is there still flaws to be seen?
Well, TRN.ROX basically won with that hill play, and that is pretty much where they want to go this time around as well. You got the two 5100s, an IS-3 and a T-37 on there. And, well, Phoenix, I was just about to say, Phoenix is the only one really defending alongside Ron. That's changed. Phoenix is now going up north, but FC Dynamo gets spotted through the middle. Now, this could be the interesting move. If Tornado just comes from loads of different angles, I don't think it's going to work out for them. But still, you have the IS-3 played by Griffin all the way over towards that left side, which is not ideal, as he's kind of on his own and may not be able to support this team. But also a necessity to stop that western side cap.
Okay, so many factors here. Keeping something in the air, the Armageddon. Taking one and giving one, but not actually taking too much damage just yet at all. And we are seeing slowly but surely TRN.ROX piling up the 8 line and the 0 line and looking like that's where they want to make the play here.
Yeah, the 8 line is a logical play. I mean, even back in 742, the 8 line push basically pioneered by Red Rush Unity. Now, I don't know, like not a team anymore. They pioneered that push, and to be fair, it does work out quite well most of the time, but it does look like the Team Supreme are also in a good position to receive, but positive and negative do want a bite.
Yeah, they're going around the side here. They could get some good damage towards FC Dynamo. Let's see if they can make this fold count. The IS-3 in the 5100. Positive taking a hell of a lot of damage from the backside. He's down to a one-shot. Phoenix just unloading everything he's got there as the Armageddon a little late to the party. It's just letting him go. Oh my god, negative. Just hitting the Armageddon, then that could be a big difference there into the game. And look at Phoenix. Great work done.
Phoenix, he probably will go down in the situation. Actually doesn't go down thanks to a very low roll from the Armageddon. And he did all 6 shells for 1.8k damage. That's great work by Phoenix.
And they have to hold on here though. The IS-3 is the backup for for the Armageddon. And Vorsig's on the way, but it's not here yet. Applewell gets called out. He's on fire. He's burning. He goes down. The T-37 will pick it up, and Phoenix is a swift removal. And now look at this. Team Supreme are struggling.
Yeah, they really are. I mean, that was a bad move there from Applewell. That was unnecessary to take himself down. That might just be the throw TRN.ROX needs.
This could be it. This could be their chance, but can they close it out? Shanish and Nuclear holding things together. And you've got Griffin as well, still in this. The Annihilator has to back out of here, but Zik finds Ron.
Yeah, Zik finds Ron. That's not a big deal. It's really about the heavy tanks right now. Team Supreme are leading HP, but they are down 2 tanks now. TRN.ROX need to find as many angles as possible. The Griffin, though, is still fighting for this game.
Griffin's not done yet. He still wants this one. He's only done 918 damage, but this is his chance to make up with it. But big shot comes in from the Armageddon. And Negative does have all the shells. God, Griffin was probably praying to get that one to connect.
Big bounce.
But now look at this from the backside. That T-37 just chipping away, just pestering him, biting at his heels.
Griffin can just go free reign on the T-37 because it's unsupported. He's got Nuclear and he's got Shanish to support his behind. Team Supreme also defending. 2 minutes left on the clock. HP is very close, but still 5 versus 3. That's a big deficit. And, well, Griffin can still get taken down very, very quickly indeed. He needs to make the right decisions, and it does look like he's doing it.
But I don't think Nuclear or Shanish can back him up here. If Zik and Armageddon actually go for this together, joined by that T-37 if they want to, Griffin's going to be melted down pretty quick. They make the peak, and it's an exchange. Zik picks him up, and now the last 2 standing. Oh god, Shanish only has 2 shells. This could change everything. He's got 1 minute 33 seconds. Vorsic sitting pretty with all of them, but Shanish going to make the most of this one. Gets a free shot in. Nuclear going to come around, and Supreme are going to try and make a play from this. Shanish gets away. He's got 40 seconds till he get back in the game, but Nuclear finds negative. This game is still on, and Shanish is making a run for it.
They're basically all one-shots apart from Zik, but yeah, the problem is Shanish is on reload in that AMX 5100, sorry. 27 seconds left on that, so Nuclear, he needs to hold his own. He needs to make the peaks, and he does. Gets a big shell there from Zik. Actually, not that big. It was kind of a low roll, but he's got the angle now. He just needs to hold it.
But this is still up in the air. Shanish doesn't want to stay too close. He needs to be careful. He needs to be cautious. The T-37 just trying to pester Nuclear on the side, but the cap has been started. Of course, not within the timescale currently, but Nuclear now being peaked on by 2. That's the first coming through. Zik now wants to go at it, and this could start hurting. Oh, Zik takes a shot. Vorsic takes down Nuclear. Now Shanish 1v3. He takes down Zik, but can he deal with the rest? Ooh. Perfect work towards the T-37. Now Armageddon and Vorsic. Oh, Shanish!
What is this?
This is perfect play.
Run away, Shanish, run!
Why is he? He's going for the challenge.
He's going to win the challenge, though.
Let's see if he can take it. The
Armageddon
against Shanish. IS3 against 5100. Shanish already 3 kills, looking for the 4th. The Armageddon needs to get this in the next 10 seconds. Shanish is backing up. He's playing it smart. 7 seconds left.
Oh
Shanish
my
gets
God,
it.
Shanish!
That was huge play from Shanish, keeping his team in the game.
Shanish! What was that, 4 kills?
4.
4 kills for Shanish. What a beast. 5 versus 3. I mean, that's what you need, a guy to actually step up for your team and really make it work for you. Yeah, 4 kills there in the last few seconds of the game.
Perfect.
Didn't do very much damage before that. That's what happens when a 5100 comes off reload at the right time. But Vorsic carrying his team there, 3,029 damage in that 5100. What a game.
Huge game.
What a game.
Absolutely huge. Okay.
And match point for TRN.ROX. Things are happening. Exciting explosions. But yeah, I mean, we're looking through the damage there. 3,000 from Vorsic, 1.9k from the Armageddon, 1.7k. But if you look down up, you got Positive doing only 370, the Annihilator only doing 830, and it goes for the same for Supreme. SC Dynamo and Ron, only about 800 damage between them.
It's a crazy game. We've had Hapoel having a great moment. We've had Shanish now having a great moment. You can see here, this was...
I already thought this was game 1.
Yeah,
Actually, the problem is that Hapoel throws this game. He goes into support Phoenix. He tries to get the awkward angle, but he gets set on fire, and TRN.ROX just, like, come off the hill at exactly the right time.
Yeah, Hapoel here. We say it so rarely that someone like Hapoel will make those errors, but...
See, look at
this.
This is a perfect timing for TRN.ROX. It was great timing for them. Set the kind of flammable Russian heavy tank on fire, and that is a huge, huge blow because Team Supreme basically lost a tier 8 tank for nothing.
It's a scary game. Scary, scary game today. Shanish there, though, has to be the MVP. We've seen... So Hapoel and Shanish both having individual games where they've saved the day almost. Picking up 4 or 5 kills, and Griffin here, buying time. I
think he does really well. You know, he's like holding every angle. He's making sure he's got the gun in the right direction. I mean, the IS-3's gun is pretty heavy. The turret's pretty heavy. It doesn't rotate particularly fast. So you really have to, you know, choose your side correctly, and he does. He knows that the 5100 is likely not to come from behind because he's got support by Griffin, by Shanish and Nuclear. So he just aims towards the south, hits the shell he needs to hit, and he basically brings the rest of the tanks from TRN.ROX down to a one-shot.
Wow. So many factors led to that game actually now going all the way through.
4-4. This is going to be the third 5-4 this round.
We're going to be casting Gone Midnight. Yay.
It's the latest show I've done in a long time. I think we did like 2 AM at the Season 3 finals.
Yeah, we've done some of the
14
seasons,
hours, 15 hours.
Yeah. God, Shanish, what a moment though.
Yeah, like this is an awkward situation for Shanish because they're both one-shots.
Yeah.
The thing is, the IS-3's side-scraping ability actually favors him. Favors the IS-3. The thing is, the Armageddon just pokes enough of his peaked nose over the front that Shanish makes a shell. That's a mistake. That's an individual mistake by the Armageddon. He pokes it. The 268mm penetration of the SA-47 just goes straight through the front of that IS-3, takes him out. I think the Armageddon should have gone for the side scrape straight away. Just an individual mistake from him.
Well, Small errors do equate to larger things in this, and clearly going to the final map here is going to be that factor. Melly, I guess the people at home are just kind of seeing how this one's turning out. How are they finding it so far?
They're actually in the last brawl, which led pretty much to the 1v1, and I'm very excited to see how the chat goes. At this moment, they're not expecting what's going to happen. They're predicting a 5-3, and yeah, it's just interesting to see your reactions to pretty much. So only 2 players left on Team Supreme, so the 1v1 will come in soonish. And people, if you want to share your opinion on that, use the hashtag WGLU over Twitter.
I'm watching this back.
Yes, actually, me too. I can't take my eyes.
Actually, Forsyth gets so unlucky. He hits the back track of the AMX 5100. Ridiculous.
Ouch.
Sorry. Carry on.
No. Well,
just
because we're on a 5-minute delay, so we get to see.
Yeah.
You get to see what we saw 5 minutes ago, so we can watch it again.
That's why there is this local time displayed.
Yeah, exactly. So, yeah, I mean, incredible game. Obviously, it's Himmelsdorf again, because the tiebreaker round for today is Himmelsdorf. And it looks like we got Supreme on the attack and TRN.ROX on the defense.
Yeah, no break this time because, you know, we're casting till midnight. Who needs a break? We're going straight into this game because it's overtime, basically, final map, all that good stuff. I'll lose my voice, but I've got days off coming up, guys. Don't worry, you'll have Mitch back on Thursday. I'll sit there at home and just throw peanuts at my screen. Anyway, 4-4. These two teams bring the game we expected. And ROX, as you mentioned, on the defensive side, Team Supreme on the attack.
This is just ridiculous. I mean, I never thought I'd see this one. But, you know, TRN.ROX look pretty solid on the defense. I wouldn't be surprised if they actually chose a defensive side, if they were the fastest attacker. And Team Supreme looks slightly weaker on the attack. Let's see what happens as Ron does go towards that left side.
And I'm just seeing Twitch chat explode at Shanish pulling that off. So, glad you guys enjoyed it. Anyway, let's see what's going on here. Negative could be in a bit of an awkward predicament, though. Ron's probably going to get a good idea of maybe where he is currently. And Ron getting spotted out. He's going to be a little cautious. The IS-3's lining up. A little bit of information being gathered, and Ron's backing away. Yeah,
so Ron just making sure he doesn't get caught out by negative. I mean, this game really is living up to expectations. These two teams are so close. You know, we get to see the weakness in Team Supreme's timing and, you know, some bad miscalls. We get to see the weakness in TRN.ROX's individual plays. But you get to see the brilliance in Team Supreme's individual ability and TRN.ROX's brilliant timing and positional play. So it's great to see the best parts of a team and also the worst parts.
Well, it looks quite decisive between Team Supreme. They're just heading straight up that A-line. They're almost doing what happened before, so they're going to put the tanks maybe on the hill as well, which seems to be there. But I'm kind of curious if this one's going to work out. TRN.ROX have been pretty darn prolific on their defending sides.
Yeah, so this is a good position by the Annihilator. That slow shell from the 15.6 just gliding towards the track of the IS-3, and of course the Annihilator receives one back. So you got good control by Team Supreme up the 8 line. A great start from them. I think they might be trying to go for that capping move they did in the first round on attack.
They might be going for it, but I'm not sure whether it's going to pay off or not. Already TRN.ROX are up towards that northern side, feeling pretty comfortable. Nuclear, last time around, we've seen that T-32 not really make much of an impression on this map, excluding when he had a couple of shots to be made off the hill itself. However, everyone in the same place. Whose side would you rather be on here?
Well, I'd always prefer to be on the defensive side. I mean, typically tiebreakers are won by the defenders for some reason. Unless you're like TRN.ROX against ASAP, where they managed to win that one, of course. But I know, I would say Team Supreme right now are looking good. I mean, they got good positions. They're playing in the part of the map they like. This is a good start for them. But again, you know, Apoel taking it down to the T-37, not a big deal. Just providing the Armageddon some good positional play.
And the irony being, Apoel was the player who was outstanding in that position not too long ago. Now he has to try and overcome it, but he had a questionable moment in the previous games. Not normally something we see from that man. Normally a huge factor for his teams.
This is the fourth tiebreak TRN.ROX has played. Fourth tiebreaker in like 6 or 7 matches. That's ridiculous.
These guys don't like.
But to be fair, this is the only one which they really deserve. Like all the other ones, like against ASAP, against who else was it? I think it was Synergy. Like they should have won those ones.
Yep.
This one is actually a fair, like, 5-4. Maybe the one against V-Pro as well, I don't know.
Yeah, you know, you can only imagine Tornado.ROX if they picked up slightly more clean wins, that it could have been so much easier for them. They would be in first place almost, but still, it looks like we are seeing that move coming in. 5100 and the T32 towards the eastern side. The IS-3 is pushing their way up that 5 line. We've got the 5100 watching the back down by the 3 line here. So, what do you make of this move from Supreme?
I like it. They're really going to be able to chunk down the Armageddon.
It's perfect. He can't keep all these angles safe, and look at that damage. He's down to 235
Tornado
HP.
should push. I think Tornado will push. I don't know. They're sitting back, actually. I thought they would push on those 3 IS-3s, and they are. They're going to go forwards and try and take them down.
Oh, this is brave, though. Negative. Vorsic, Zik as well. All looking for the play, but that fire. Perfect coming in. Nuclear as well towards Zik.
Yeah, this is big throws from Tornado.ROX. The damage might just be a little bit too much. You can see Team Supreme walking away with this round. 7.3k for Team Supreme, 2.7 for Tornado.ROX.
Team Supreme mean business now. FC Dynamo takes a hell of a lot of damage there. He might go down here, but still, it's looking like it's Team Supremes. They should have what it takes. Nuclear finds Armageddon. Griffin towards negative. Now positive, and the Annihilator last 2 alive.
Yeah, this is really a walkover right now for Team Supreme. The Annihilator just coming off reload. He might make this last shell, but he hits that IS-3 track once again. Bit of a team kill there. By Griffin on FC Dynamo, but you know, it doesn't really matter. I think that was actually an ammo rack. I don't know if it was or not. And Shanish will find positive. It's game over. Team Supreme walk away with it. A 5-4 scoreline, and you know, Tornado Throws just must have their heads in their hands right now.
Be gutted after that, because they had everything going for them until that round.
Yeah.
That one round, they just lost it. I don't know what it is they lost, but like, you know, that ball they were holding, they literally dropped that. You know what I mean? It's just like everything went wrong for them.
Yeah.
Everything.
Yeah, I mean, like, they had that opportunity to win that last round. Like, so many tanks one by one went into Shanish's play, and then this time, you know, you could see Team Supreme got what they wanted. You know, they got that, like, 6 to 9, 6 to the 0 line, where they could just sit there, they could make the plays. Great move onto the Armageddon. You know, there's no support from the Annihilator down that D line, that they could just walk around, chunk the Armageddon down. You could see Tornado.ROX knew that, okay, if the Armageddon falls for nothing, then they actually have to make a move, and then they went into the crossfire of the IS-3s, which had just come off reload, and it was just too much damage. Just game over.
It really was in the end, but what a great game we had. Every single game going into the final deciding map. And Melly,
I think we never had that.
I don't know.
We've had like every single match day's been one close game, and then all the other ones have been pretty stompy.
Yeah, and never like 3 times a deciding map. It's well,
it's the first time
you've been here with us
since season 5 as well.
Yes,
so.
True. So people, well, you were right again.
They broke the trend there. Damn you, Tornado.ROX.
Just turn them
That
around.
would have been beautiful
And pretty.
It would have been
Maybe
good.
that's why it was all, you know, one-sided.
Oh.
They just wanted to even out the layout of the scores.
Nice.
People, you've been amazing. You've got it right 3 times. Thank you. No, that's not right. The first match, which is so long ago.
True. It feels like a lifetime ago, let's be honest.
Exactly. So 2 out of 3 times. That's at least better than us, pretty much.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Congratulations. And yeah, thank you for getting involved, and don't forget to follow our Twitch channel. Click the follow button to get a notification as soon as we're going live, and you won't miss any single minute of our awesome show from now on. And also don't forget to head over to our YouTube channel to follow it as well, to get their notifications as well when the new VODs are up online, and of course our Facebook and Twitter and all the other platforms. And you should know it by now. If you want to say something towards us, use the hashtag WGLEU. We love reading from you, even if it's not during the show.
We do indeed. But anyway, guys, that's enough, I think, from today. We've had some fantastic games. As you saw, the results were all phenomenally close. But now we need to talk about what's upcoming in this week. Again, on Thursday, there's 3 more games. Thankfully, you won't have to listen to me. Mitch will return to you.
We'll see. He's got a chest infection right now.
No, he will return because I need a break. But no, Virtus Pro against Ding, Synergy against No Mercy, and ASAP against Wusa.
Yeah, I mean, the first game, I think it's my highlight. Really going to be interesting. I think ASAP, Wusa, they're very close on that leaderboard. Could be be another good game.
Well, considering the form that ASAP turned in today, you know, they could do a lot of damage. Then again, you never know with Verta Throw. But still, that's enough from us today, guys. Hopefully you've enjoyed the show. I think I need to go and lay down for like 3 hours and just kind of think about what's happened today and watch back that Shanish moment. And of course, guys, head over to YouTube and catch that VOD as soon as it's live, because that is a beautiful moment. So guys, hopefully see you on Thursday.